Okay, so we're gonna break this down a little bit because like this is I need it. It's so crazy too because this first scene, like you can't even tell that it's in his eye, right? And then you go down and like you see this. So then there's the first clue, right?
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant.
Second clue, right? That's it. Those are the first two things you get, and you see this whole scene. And when I saw this, the first thing I thought of was Final Fantasy 15. Never played the game, but I was like, 4 dudes. This is like, okay, I'm getting some FF15 vibes, but like these don't look like any of the characters from 15, right? And then there's like, all right, I guess.
And only the dominant.
How do we even know the...
And then at this point, they're like, all right, we're 28 seconds in. We might as well just tell people what game this is.
Our kind do not question
Right?
orders.
And they're like, right here. There you go. You get 33 seconds in. There's chocobos. So if you were wondering if it was a Final Fantasy game, there's your answer.
Follow them.
And then they do Square Enix. How do you like that, by the way? They open up with, like, very minute things, like they say Shiva, click in your brain. And then there's like, all right, visual, here's some chocobos. And then they're like, Square Enix. Come on, dudes! And then they say icon? That's so legit. Like, that's newer phrasing for icons. They're not summons. They're not eidolons. They're not, what else did they call them?
Icon? That thing's a bloody mountain.
Look at Shiva. Look at Shiva. I really like Shiva's design without the full blue skin. And look, they're hitting us with all the classics. These are the iconic summons. Shiva, Titan, we get Ifrit.
Our foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily.
And then you get this. Then you get the song.
Our foe will not relinquish their mother
This
crystal
is the first
easily.
music. Oof.
This will be a
I
bitter fight.
love this music. This is like, it's a Final Fantasy. This isn't in the Final Fantasy universe. This is a Final Fantasy.
We have discussed this. Come, Joshua. Your father will be expecting us.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to...
Look at that chocobo. That chocobo is absolutely majestic looking. Absolutely majestic. Look at that. Look at its face, the beak, the feathers.
to protect him.
Look at it. Fighting your typical goblins early game.
What do you mean you refuse? Did you not pledge your swords to our cause?
Marlboro, one of the most iconic monsters in the game. What I love about Final Fantasy, by the way, I'm sorry, I'm fucking nerding out right now. You know what this thing does.
Does it matter?
Like, you just know.
It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms, was it not?
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our realm from the spread of the Blight.
Look at this dragoon. And this music, when you this track that they're playing, this is the track that you get in almost every single Final Fantasy. And then it stands out even more in all of the high fantasy ones. Like, this track is so iconic, and it's building. Like, do you hear how it's building? Like, look at this.
Cannot defend our realm from the spread of the
Slowly. Here, it's louder. Right now, oh my god. Also, this makes me believe if you watch his look at his combat, and I'll show you later on. Did you see the Phoenix Wing? Like, I have a feeling somehow you're going to be tying the icons to your abilities and to your gear. Somehow you're going to be like similar to like I guess how you junctioned with them in 8. Like, wouldn't that be interesting? Like, look at your abilities. Do you see that? You're using something there.
Imperial Vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
Look at that! The other iconic beast from Final Fantasy 16 or from Final Fantasy is the coral. Like, these creatures are so crazy.
Imperial Vipers. Do they really mean to invade us?
Look how majestic that thing looks.
It's the Archduke.
Look, Titan arms. That's why I'm also saying, because these look like Titan arms. Look at this. Look at this.
Phoenix.
Also, the story looks like maybe that kid, like maybe people have icons in them. There's certain people that have this power. Because it looks like it revolves around this kid, and the Phoenix is probably inside of him or something. Like, do you think maybe he loses himself and he turns into the Phoenix? Like, look, that's Ifrit. What if that's Ifrit? What if that guy all of a sudden is like...
Second icon of fire. But
Like, look, he's on fire. This guy's turning into Ifrit right there. Yo, anyone getting Fire Force feels right now? Just from that scene? Anyone? Anyone? Fire Force? He's sparking, dude. Look!
second icon of fire. But
Yo!
that's impossible.
This is so legitimate! Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
The legacy.
it's alright. It's like the first, it's the major thing. You know it from the beginning of the show.
has shaped our history.
Is that Bahamut? Wait, is that Bahamut? Hold on! Hold your face! Yo, how do we slow this down?
The legacy of crystals.
Yo! That's Ifrit.
Has shaped our history.
Alright, that actually is still Ifrit, right? Yeah, that's still Ifrit. I don't know why that looked like Bahamut. But that's weird. Yeah, they wouldn't show Bahamut this early, even if it's like a...
The legacy of the crystals.
This music, dude. Oh my god.
Has shaped our history.
You know what this makes me feel? This makes me feel like this game is Heaven's Word, the game.
Enough.
Also, look.
I'll kill you. If it's the last.
if this is the main character, I'm actually very happy that this is the main character, because he's got like there's something about him that just feels different from all your other main characters from games. Like, he still has that brooding kind of feel to him, but he just doesn't feel the same. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but there's just something about him as the main character that I'm looking forward to. And I think that's him older. I think you got a young one, and then this is him older, like after he's been through a bunch of shit.
It's the last thing I do.
I just... Also, you need to watch Fire Force if you haven't watched it yet. Just tangent. It's legit amazing. So is that him? So yeah, that looks... Oh, don't worry. I've had them like 5 times since I've watched this.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant.
So, like, here's our main character right here. This is our main character. I think this is us. I don't know if these are going to be playable characters.
And only the dominant.
He's probably in charge of the group. So he's probably a higher rank, because if they're soldiers.
How do we even know the girl will be...
Also, look at that chess piece. Is he the Dragoon? Is he the Dragoon later on?
How do we even know the girl will be among them?
That's got to be some kind of barbarian. Or not barbarian, a berserker. That could be a berserker or a warrior.
Our kind do not question orders.
Oh. So they're definitely part of a unit of soldiers, because when he said our kind are not accustomed to orders, he touched his face. And that means that whatever unit or order that he's joined has to get the tattoo. Either the tattoo is part of the process of whatever they do to you to make you join, or it's just part of it, like symbolism.
We follow them.
Now, what's that?
We follow them.
I get monk vibes from that, even though he's like, his face is masked. Do we hunt primals? I don't know. Maybe that's part of the story. Maybe we hunt primals, and the primals are embodied by certain people. Like, there's something that wakes up, like they're born with it, and they can't help when they transform, and they transform because of certain reasons. Sort of like the Hulk, maybe, but not when they just get angry, but it's kind of like they don't know how to control it, and something like transforms them. And maybe they're, because the primals or icons can't be controlled, and they're so devastating, maybe they have to go find people that are the icons, and they have to kill them before. And maybe as the main character, your character kind of has a conscience, but then grows a conscience, and he's basically charged to save this kid that embodies the Phoenix. Which the kid might be royalty.
Sergeant, they've summoned their icon.
Yeah, Sergeant. Oh, they've summoned their icon. Yo, this has to be Yoshi P's game. This has to be. Also, Titan is amazing.
Icon? That thing's a bloody mountain.
All right, so that guy that get crushed, what if he's one of the guys in the initial, like, what if this is like the beginning-ish part of the game where it's introducing you to the main plot of the story? Like, this is within the first couple of hours, like first hour or two, and they just give you some ancillary, like, characters to go along with you, because, like, that guy looks like he was part of your crew in the beginning. He just gets stomped. Like, he's dead. Well, yeah, they probably don't.
The crystal easily.
So who is this? So is this a different
Our foe
character?
will not relinquish.
Also, this song, by the way, the first thing that I think of, like, when I think of, and oh man, Nova, you don't get this. Oh, I feel so bad you're not going to get this because you haven't played Final Fantasy 1. Oh man. But this moment right here, when this music starts playing, like this music, this is what it triggers for me. When you do the not the epilogue, the prologue. There's a prologue section of Final Fantasy 1. When you do the first thing, when you're done and it goes on into the rest of the game, this song plays. And then this song plays like, oh my god, this song is so nostalgic for me.
Their mother crystal.
And who is this? Who is this? Is this the same main character as the one at the end? Or is it two different people?
Easily. This will be a bitter fight.
You should not be out of doors.
Yeah, it is in 14.
We have discussed this. Come, Joshua. Your father will be expecting it.
So yeah, it looks like he's younger before the tattoo, because that's what I'm thinking. I feel like this kid's royalty.
I am Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to.
I want that chocobo so bad.
What do you mean you refuse?
So I think the combat system is going to be... I'm hoping the combat system is more along the lines of, if I had to choose, 7 Remake than 15. I hope it's a mix. I hope that they at least let you choose some stuff. But you know, I'm still gonna play this. Yeah, that's what it looks 15-ish.
Did you not pledge your swords to our cause?
God, the fucking Marlboro. I hate these things.
What does it matter?
Who's this chick? I need to know who she is.
It was the Dalmex who drove back.
And who are the Dalmegs? Who are the Dalmegs? You like the newer combat system? I don't mind it, but I absolutely hate action combat in my RPGs. Honestly, I like old school turn-based. I love the older Final Fantasy games. I'm still gonna play it. Yeah, that's right. The way you teleport looks very much 15. But I don't know. I know that the times are changing, so you know it is what it is. It's fine. I'm gonna play the shit out of this game, not lying. But there's just still something that I still want, that classic like combat system.
Back the Crusaders in the Battle of the
Who is she?
Twin Realms, was it not?
Without the blessing of the
Look at Titan's face. Look at his face. Look at his face.
mother
That's what I'm
crystal, we
hoping.
cannot defend our realm.
Also,
Our realm.
nope.
Without the blessing of the mother crystal, we cannot
There's another person.
defend our realm from the spread of the blight.
Is that us? See, look! Look! Look at that chess piece. Is that the guy from the beginning? Do you have to fight your sergeant? Do you have to fight your sergeant? His chest piece! It does look similar.
So I sent in the
Oh, no. I don't think it is. Okay, it's similar. Because he's younger. If this is when you're younger, yeah. Maybe it's two different people. I don't
They
know.
really mean to invade us.
It's the Archduke's son.
Archduke's son. I knew it. Yeah, maybe he is just a dragoon, but it's a different dragoon.
Phoenix.
Stop this! It's the Archduke's son.
Phoenix.
It's the Archduke's son, the Phoenix.
Stop this!
Also, did he unleash the Phoenix after he saw probably his dad get his head lopped off?
Phoenix.
All right, so yeah, it gets triggered somehow because his father, probably that was his father, just got his head lopped off.
Stop this!
And then who's that? Is that? Well, maybe his head didn't get lopped off.
Second lifetime of fire. But that's impossible.
So, I don't know. I got like Godzilla vibes from that whole scene, like right there when he like made that growl and he's like rising from the fire like that. Like that was totally like from this whole section, like Nova, you need to watch Fire Force. Oh my god. You need to watch Fire Force. You need to like up it on your queue unless you're in the middle of something. If you're in the middle of something, then it's fine, but you need to watch Fire Force.
The legacy of the crystals. Has shaped our history.
I mean, true.
Enough.
Do you see how visceral this game is going to be? Like, all of the spots with it, like, this game is not, like, to be fair, Final Fantasy games in general, like, if you play through most of them, they're dark. They're all dark. All of their stories, like, they do not shy away from killing characters in any of their games. Like, all of their main story ones, like, they're dark. So, like, this is... And I don't remember the trailer for 15, but I don't remember the opening trailer for 15 being this visceral, like, at all. Like, in this trailer, you saw a dude get crushed by Titan's foot, a dude get his head chopped off. They're like, I hope they're not dead, but in that scene, when he was transforming, there's unfortunately it looked like some dead chocobos. Like they're gonna punch you in your face and your heart. Like this game is going to be absolutely devastating, I think, in certain story like I think this is going to be an amazing game. Like I could be wrong, but like this All right. So there he is younger.
I'll kill you.
Okay, it's the same guy. The earring's the same. And he looks like he's, yeah. This face, he looks like he's been through some shit. I know, the music. You know what? That's the thing that gets me with Final Fantasy. especially the newer ones, their team for their cinematics to put the music along, like this is how you can tell, by the way. This is how you can tell that there is a great cinematics team coupled with a great composer and music team. When you see cinematics and the music is perfect and it hits you a certain way, you know that they know what the hell they're doing and that like they have something that just builds magic. Like there's very few things that get me when it comes to cinematics and in video games, and let me tell you, every time, like especially over like the last X year, like probably 10 years, like Blizzard cinematics get me, and like these Final Fantasy ones, like hands down. Yeah, this has to be Yoshi P. There's so much stuff in here that I'm seeing that seems like it's more of an influence from 14 and not from anything else.
It's the last thing I do.
This, like, look at this. Look. Oh, hold on. This is a story. So, look who we have here. We have the Phoenix. So, here's Joshua. Here's Joshua. Because you know, don't you, if you look at, oh my God, we're going to do this. We're doing this. I don't care. I'm streaming forever, it seems. I'm never going to eat dinner. Final Fantasy game logos. Images. No, I don't want to see a video. I want to see an image of all the Final Fantasy logos. Nope. Just give me an actual big image of it, please. No, I want large logos. Okay, we're going to do this. So, if we look at all of these, if you look at all their logos, every picture is very important in their logos because it tells you something about the main thing of the story. So, like, for instance, here's 7, and that's the planet, right? So, like, that's very iconic. If you look at this, this is the original Warrior of Light in Final Fantasy because it's the first one. I don't know 15, but if you look at Final Fantasy 3, there's that. 11 has all the characters. Final Fantasy 10 is a big one. It's Yuna with all of the stuff here. Like, that's big. Final Fantasy 4, that's the main character, Cecil. That's the Dark Knight, and it shows you that like this is about him, and probably his struggle. If you go down, let's find X2. It's got the 3 girls on it, so it's got Riku and Yuna and Pain. If we go and look at 8, here we go. Here's the logo for 8. It's Squall and Renoa, like huge. This is like what the story focuses around, right? If we go down to, I think that's it. Even if you look at 14, it's got your character with all the weapons coming out, and it's like you can be all the classes. Where's another one? I'm not familiar with 15. Let's look at this. Oh, here we go. So, um, so yeah, 1, you have the original Warrior of Light. 2, I only played 2 once, so I can't really break down this. Final Fantasy 3, I've only played a couple times, and I'm not as familiar with the story and the ins and outs, so I can't really break down this. But Final Fantasy 4, Cecil, Struggle, Dark Knight, like, that's this. Final Fantasy 5, the dragon, very important in the game, like, for sure. Final Fantasy 6, Terra and the mech, like the Magitech armor, like Empire. This, Final Fantasy 7, this is interesting. 7, if you look, 1, 2, 3, 4, all went with characters. 5 didn't. 6 kind of went with a character and an iconic vehicle. 7, no character. Because 7 had an idea beyond characters. Like, there's beyond one character. 7 was about the planet. That's the same with 5. 5 wasn't about one character or 2 characters or the characters as a whole. More so as 5 was about this thing, like, that was important. 8, the romance between those two. Like, that was a big play as part of the major story. 9, back to the crystals. They put a crystal, no character. 10, very important to the story, was Yuna. Like, the story revolved around this concept and Yuna being very, very tied to the story itself. 13, I don't know too much about 13. 12, I think, is a judge, right? Is 12 a judge? And then 13, I didn't play too much of 13. X2 was the group of girls as your main characters. But with that being said, look at this. There's no character. But if you watch the trailer and you kind of break it down, you kind of understand, wait, so this could be Joshua right here. So it's going to be the struggle between the Phoenix. Now, this looks like a behemoth, but I kind of don't want to say that this is a behemoth. Because it's weird. This could be a behemoth because it doesn't look like Ifrit from the back. But Ifrit looked very different in the trailer. Like, that's the only reason I think it's Ifrit. And for some reason, I feel like the Phoenix and Ifrit spawn at the same time, and they are fighting near the end. So I think this is a struggle between something. Like, this is a bigger picture. This is going to be all about the icons, and there's going to be 2 factions. I think that there's going to be the factions of people that are going after the icons, and then there's maybe a resistance group that wants to save them because they're, at the end of the day, they're people too. Because there has to be this correlation between these icons don't just get summoned. You need a vessel for these icons. They don't just appear. This isn't like 14 where you're like bringing apart all these crystals and all of your prayers and dreams are going to summon this icon. Because remember, some of the icons needed sacrifices. And some people actually turn into the primals. So this is also why I feel like this is Yoshi P's game, because there's so much nuance in this trailer that I get story vibes from 14, like just picking one here and picking one there. Like, this is so amazing. And also, like, the whole theme of this, I totally, like, Nova, you could correct me, like, if I'm wrong, but I feel Heaven's Ward. I don't feel Stormblood. I don't really feel Shadowbringers. I don't feel ARR. But when I watch this trailer, I feel like from start to end in this video game, it's going to feel like Heaven's Word. That's what it's going to feel like. I'm buying a PS5. If I have to wait a year to play this on PC and it comes out on PS5, like I'm spending $500 to fucking buy this game. I don't care. That's my final thought. If they announce that this game comes out on PS5 first and they're like it'll come out on PC 12 months later, no, I'm playing this game on release. Like I will pre-order a PS5 just for this game. Oh god, I need TGS to happen. I need TGS right now. Like I can't wait till next week.